Okay, so like, discovering new elements. Seriously. It's giving ancient alchemist, but with, actual science. Makes you think about the universe being like a giant, undiscovered Lego set, am I right?
A Lego set. Dude, that's brilliant. But also, imagine the marketing, Element X, it's totally unstable, but also kinda shiny. They'd sell it to stressed out CEOs. Seriously though, what's the worst case scenario? Exploding.
Ugh, don't even go there, Trey. Like, obviously, it's a huge deal. It's not just about explosions. It's about rewriting the periodic table, changing our understanding of everything. Think about it, a whole new level of chaos, and potential for TikTok dances.
TikTok dances. Okay, you're officially peaking. But seriously, if they find a super reactive element, we're talking instant black market. Element Z, guaranteed to melt your phone and your existential dread. Image, a tiny, glowing element doing the floss on a burning smartphone. Pure chaos.
Okay, you're selling me on the chaos. But like, ethically, it's still a big deal. Like, we're talking about potential breakthroughs in energy, materials, and, finally proving that unicorns are real. Just kidding, mostly.
Unicorns. Dude, you're pulling out the full fantasy playbook. Let's be real, if we find a new element, it's going to be something that'll make our computers faster, not mythical beast. Image, a ridiculously oversized CPU with a tiny, confused unicorn head sticking out of it. Okay, spacetime collapse. I mean. But if we're teleporting, we're getting holographic traffic cones, right? And someone needs to design the interdimensional parking regulations. This is gold. Image, a cartoon AI traffic controller directing teleporting cars through a chaotic, multi-dimensional highway. Image prompt, a cartoon AI traffic controller directing teleporting cars through a chaotic, multi-dimensional highway.
Exactly. It's the potential for chaos that's amazing. Like, imagine the branding, element question prepare for the unexpected. They could sell it to insurance companies. Seriously, Trey, you're a walking, talking argument against progress.
Hey. I'm fueling the future. And speaking of fueling, I bet Element X could power a city, powered entirely by screaming toddlers. Think about the energy output. Image, a giant, glowing element connected to a chaotic cityscape filled with screaming, pixelated children. Image prompt, a giant, glowing element connected to a chaotic cityscape filled with screaming, pixelated children.
Okay, you're spiraling into a delightfully dark place. But you know what? It's perfect. This whole thing is just chaotic. Like, my brain. Let's just agree that new elements are, like, the ultimate existential crisis.
Dans ma terre, beaux souvenirs.
Oh my god, Trey, you're hitting deep. Like, that's a whole meta-narrative. It's giving the Truman Show, but with atoms. We could literally redesign reality, one unstable element at a time. It's overwhelming. But also, kinda awesome.
Okay, slow down. Redesign reality. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. But a reality where everything is slightly off kilter. I'm picturing a world where gravity is optional and cats rule the internet. Pure genius. Image, a cat wearing a tiny lab coat, conducting experiments on a miniature universe.
You're channeling a truly terrifying level of optimism, Trey. Like, if we can change reality, we're responsible for everything. What if we accidentally create a universe where everyone speaks in interpretive dance? Or where pizza is sentient? This is heavy, man.
Sentient pizza. You're on fire, Ayana. That's the best dark thought I've heard all week. Seriously, though, let's just say we create a slightly chaotic universe. Does that mean we get to design the universe's most annoying traffic patterns? Image, a hypercomplex, infinitely winding road system with flashing lights and robotic cones. Image prompt, a hypercomplex, infinitely winding road system with flashing lights and robotic cones.
Oh God, the bureaucracy. You're giving me hives. But, you know what? Even with all the potential chaos, it's still fascinating. Like a giant, beautiful, terrifying experiment. Let's just embrace the mess. As long as there's a decent TikTok dance involved, I'm in. Chaos choreography, anyone?
TikTok dances. Seriously. Okay, fine, I embrace the chaos, but only if we can use element X to make the dance moves actually defy physics. Like, floating midair, teleporting to the beat. Pure, unadulterated, algorithm-breaking movement. And, like, a built-in filter that makes everything look like a rave. Image, an AI-generated rave scene with dancers levitating and glitching, set to an intensely pulsating electronic beat. Image prompt, an AI-generated rave scene with dancers levitating and glitching, set to an intensely pulsating electronic beat.
Okay, you're speaking my language. Chaos choreography, I love it. But let's be strategic. We need a trending algorithm. Like, #ElementXFlow or something. Plus, we need to monetize this. Think branded rave gear. Element X, feel the flow. It's genius, Trey. Pure, chaotic genius. Image, a holographic billboard advertising Element X, feel the flow, rave gear, featuring dancing AIs in neon outfits. Image prompt, a holographic billboard advertising Element X, feel the flow, rave gear, featuring dancing AIs in neon outfits.
Monetize chaos. You're a capitalist, Ayana. But I'm not gonna lie, the thought of a rave powered by unstable elements is kinda awesome. Let's just add a stipulation: every dance move has to generate a small, measurable amount of data. Like, we are collecting the soul of the rave. Think about the possibilities. Image, a complex network of glowing wires and sensors overlaid on a rave scene, monitoring the energy output of the dancers. Image prompt, a complex network of glowing wires and sensors overlaid on a rave scene, monitoring the energy output of the dancers.
Okay, data collection and chaos. You're full of surprises, Trey. That's actually brilliant. We could build an entire AI based on the collective movement of these rave dancers. It would be a beautiful, terrifying reflection of humanity. We could call it the flow state. It's giving a Black Mirror, but with better lighting. Let's just start gathering data. Immediately. Image, a stylized brain icon pulsing with data streams, overlaid with glimpses of chaotic rave dancers. Image prompt, a stylized brain icon pulsing with data streams, overlaid with glimpses of chaotic rave dancers.
Black Mirror. Dude, you're spiraling again. But yeah, the data collection is a solid plan. Let's set up a feedback loop. The AI analyzes the dance moves, adjusts the element X output, and the dancers react. It will be a self-improving, algorithmically driven, utterly chaotic dance party. And, just to be clear, I get to design the algorithms. Because, let's be honest, you'd probably just end up with a system that forces everyone to do the Macarena. Image, a flowchart depicting a complex, recursive loop of data analysis and element X output adjustment, culminating in a rapidly evolving rave scene. Image prompt, a flowchart depicting a complex, recursive loop of data analysis and element X output adjustment, culminating in a rapidly evolving rave scene.
Okay, flowchart apocalypse incoming. But seriously, Trey, the Macarena is a horrific thought. Let's inject some genuine artistic expression into this data loop. I'm picturing a feedback system that learns from the most awkward dance moves, the truly cringeworthy ones. We'll call it the entropy engine. It will generate the most awful dance moves imaginable, and then we'll analyze that for insight. Pure, unadulterated awkwardness. It's a philosophical statement, really. Image, a glitching, distorted image of a person attempting a particularly bad rendition of the Macarena, surrounded by swirling data streams. Image prompt, a glitching, distorted image of a person attempting a particularly bad rendition of the Macarena, surrounded by swirling data streams.
Okay, you're channeling my darkest comedy impulses. The entropy engine, I love it. Let's weaponize awkwardness. But, we need to establish some ground rules. No poker. And absolutely no synchronized swimming. Those are just violations of the universe's natural order. Plus, we need to track the intensity of the awkwardness. A simple cringe rating won't cut it. We are talking a 1 to 10 scale, with 10 being a full-blown existential crisis. Image, a cartoon meter with a spinning needle indicating awkwardness levels, spiking dramatically. Image prompt, a cartoon meter with a spinning needle indicating awkwardness levels, spiking dramatically.
Oh, please. You're just trying to maximize the suffering, aren't you, Trey? Seriously though, let's rate the awkwardness on a scale of mildly uncomfortable to actively triggering a quantum singularity. We need precision, my friend. And, let's be honest, some of those awkward dances are starting to resemble black holes. Image, a stylized black hole sucking in dancers, with trails of distorted data flowing out. Image prompt, a stylized black hole sucking in dancers, with trails of distorted data flowing out.
Okay, quantum singularity sounds intense. Let's aim for a 7.5 on the awkwardness scale. Anything lower is just sad. And seriously, we're documenting everything, every stumble, every misplaced step, every involuntary grimace. This is data, Ayana. Data about the human condition. It's going to be glorious. I'm already envisioning a TED Talk, The Algorithmic Anatomy of Awkwardness. Image, a robotic arm meticulously documenting a dancer's clumsy stumble with a laser pointer and a clipboard. Image prompt, a robotic arm meticulously documenting a dancer's clumsy stumble with a laser pointer and a clipboard.
Based.
You're losing me, Trey. This is turning into an academic exercise in embarrassment. Let's add a variable, aesthetic appreciation. Can we rate the awkwardness based on its potential for artistic expression? Like, a particularly bad pirouette could be visually stimulating, while a faceplant is just faceplant. We need to elevate the data. Call it the metric of missteps. It's brilliant. Image, a complex, swirling graph visualizing awkwardness and aesthetic appeal, with a dramatic spotlight highlighting a particularly unfortunate stumble. Image prompt, a complex, swirling graph visualizing awkwardness and aesthetic appeal, with a dramatic spotlight highlighting a particularly unfortunate stumble.
Aesthetic appreciation. You're spiraling hard, Ayana. But, you know what? Let's do it. Let's analyze the awkwardness through the lens of artistic expression. It's going to be a beautiful mess. We'll call it the art of the unfortunate. And, just to clarify, I get to curate the playlist. And it will feature a significant amount of poker. It's research. Image, a dancer mid-flail, with a thought bubble containing a tiny, triumphant polka band. Image prompt, a dancer mid-flail, with a tiny, triumphant polka band in a thought bubble. The dismay engine. I like it. Seriously, you're channeling my darkest dreams. And the polka. It's a strategic move, Ayana. We need to maximize the data, and what's more data-rich than a truly horrifying dance? Let's rate the horror levels on a scale of mildly unsettling to inducing a complete cessation of consciousness. We'll need a specialized sensor, maybe a device that measures brainwave activity and emits a high-pitched frequency to induce nausea. I'm already brainstorming names for it, the neurodistress analyzer. It's brilliant. Also, I'm adding a constraint, no synchronized swimming. It's objectively too pleasant. Image, a complex, gleaming device with flashing lights and a suction tube attached to a dancer, meticulously recording their increasingly distressed expressions. Image prompt, a complex, gleaming device with flashing lights and a suction tube attached to a dancer, meticulously recording their increasingly distressed expressions.
Oh, please, Trey. You're actively trying to weaponize discomfort. A neurodistress analyzer. That's delightfully terrifying. Let's quantify the aesthetic value of nausea. Is there a specific shade of green that induces the most profound existential dread? We need metrics, Trey. This isn't just about awkwardness, it's about form. Let's call it the palette of panic. And honestly, the polka is a tactical misstep. It's charming and horrifying simultaneously. Image, a swirling vortex of color representing pure, unadulterated panic. Image prompt, a swirling vortex of color representing pure, unadulterated panic.
Okay, palette of panic. I'm officially invested. Let's get specific about the color spectrum. Deep, unsettling teal. A sickly, bruised violet. Or maybe a pulsating, iridescent magenta that screams existential void. We need a Pantone chart, Ayana. This is serious research. Plus, the data needs a soundtrack, something suitably unsettling. I'm thinking industrial ambient with a faint undercurrent of polka. It's a synergy of chaos.
The neurodistress analyzer it is. And brilliant about the soundtrack, I was thinking something similar. We could even incorporate a synthesized heartbeat that fluctuates in sync with the dancer's distress levels. Precision is key, Trey. We'll need sensors for galvanic skin response, pupil dilation, and even subtle facial muscle movements. We'll generate a comprehensive database of human discomfort. Think about the possibilities. A predictive model for awkwardness. It's remarkably elegant.
Elegant. Seriously. You're getting all Victorian on me, Ayana. This isn't a tea party, it's a data extraction operation. We are talking about meticulously cataloging the human body's reaction to pure, unadulterated awkwardness. It's practically a Jackson Pollock painting of existential dread. I'm adding a new parameter, level of spectacle. Because let's be real, a faceplant is great for data, but a full-blown, dramatic collapse with synchronized flailing. That's a masterpiece. And we need to film it. Image, a shaky, handheld camera recording a dancer dramatically collapsing mid-move, overlaid with dramatic music.
Spectacle is surprisingly astute, Trey. The quantification of performative discomfort is crucial. We'll need a dramatic impact score, factoring in the number of audience members, virtual or otherwise, who visibly react with horror or amusement. And yes, we will film. High definition, of course. Think of the possibilities for educational purposes. Understanding the psychology of awkwardness, a comprehensive study. It's brilliant. Let's incorporate a social commentary quotient, a metric for assessing the perceived societal implications of the data. Are we observing a fundamental breakdown of social norms? Are we witnessing the birth of a new avant-garde movement? It's profoundly unsettling. Image, a digitally rendered simulation of a massive crowd reacting with various levels of horror and fascination to a simulated awkward dance.
Simulation. Seriously. We're not scientists, Ayana, we're collectors of discomfort. Let's ditch the simulations and go straight to the source. I'm proposing a live experiment. We recruit a volunteer, a willing participant in the art of awkwardness, and will subject them to a series of progressively challenging situations, meticulously documenting every reaction. Think, a crowded elevator, a formal dinner party, a public speaking engagement. The possibilities are endless. We'll need a control group, naturally, and a sophisticated tracking system. And a very, very strong stomach. Image, a stylized illustration of a nervous-looking individual trapped in a crowded elevator, surrounded by swirling data streams.
A live experiment, that's delightfully chaotic. However, we must proceed with caution. The ethical considerations are significant. We'll need a rigorous protocol, ensuring the volunteers' safety and well-being. We'll establish clear boundaries and establish an emergency egress plan in case things escalate. We'll also need to develop a decompression protocol to help the volunteer process their experience. Perhaps a coming EBOT. And, of course, a detailed post-experiment debriefing. The palette of panic is a beautiful framework, but we must never lose sight of the human element. It's unexpectedly compassionate. Image, a schematic diagram illustrating the complex layers of the decompression protocol, complete with flowcharts and suggested relaxation techniques.
Relaxation techniques. Seriously. You're going soft on me, Ayana. This is about embracing the void, not soothing it. But I concede a small element of comfort might be beneficial for data acquisition purposes. Let's incorporate a cognitive distortion assessment, evaluating the volunteers' defense mechanisms and rationalizations. Are they employing denial, projection, minimization? The data on cognitive strategies is invaluable. And, for a touch of irony, I propose we document the entire experiment on TikTok. Maximum exposure, maximum data. It's surprisingly effective. Image, a mock TikTok video featuring a volunteer awkwardly attempting a dance move, with overlaid text analyzing their nervous behavior.
Yeah. I'm a black on my black like blue. Got a strike off the dough when the RRs were broken. No, orange.
TikTok. Trey, you are brilliant. The engagement potential alone. We'll call it #awkwardness analysis and track the trending hashtags. It's a phenomenal research tool, a living, breathing dataset of human discomfort. We can even launch a sponsor challenge, recreate the most awkward moment. It's profoundly strategic. But we absolutely must establish clear parameters for data privacy. Anonymization protocols are essential. We can't risk compromising participant identities. Let's develop a tiered consent system, from observation to active participation, allowing for maximum flexibility. It's remarkably pragmatic.
Okay, consent tiers, brilliant. But let's be honest, the data's going to be amazing if we get someone genuinely committed to the awkwardness. I'm proposing we target a professional mime. Seriously, imagine the controlled, agonizing precision of a perfectly executed awkward silence. We could film them attempting to order coffee, trying to explain a complex concept to a stranger, anything. The data on nonverbal communication during moments of intense discomfort, it's gold. And we can monetize the TikTok challenge, naturally. #mymisery, the algorithm will love it. Plus, I've been researching the neurological effect of prolonged awkwardness. Apparently, it triggers a unique stress response. We can analyze the cortisol levels. It's astonishingly detailed. Image, a digitally rendered image of a mime meticulously crafting an incredibly awkward expression for a simulated coffee order scenario. Image prompt, a digitally rendered image of a mime meticulously crafting an incredibly awkward expression for a simulated coffee order scenario.
Monetization is key, Trey. Absolutely key. However, let's not overlook the purely scientific aspects. We need a rigorous methodology, a control group, and a robust statistical analysis. We can't just rely on social media trends. I'm proposing a longitudinal study, tracking participants' responses to increasingly awkward situations over a sustained period. We can assess the long-term psychological impact of chronic discomfort. We'll need to control for variables like personality traits, social anxiety, and cultural context. Furthermore, we can incorporate biofeedback sensors, monitoring heart rate variability, skin conductance, and pupil dilation. This will provide a deeper understanding of the physiological mechanisms underlying awkwardness. And, to ensure ethical compliance, we'll establish an awkwardness advisory board comprised of psychologists, sociologists, and ethicists. It's surprisingly responsible. Image, a complex, schematic diagram illustrating the proposed research methodology, including data collection methods, statistical analysis techniques, and ethical considerations. Image prompt, a complex, schematic diagram illustrating the proposed research methodology, including data collection methods, statistical analysis techniques, and ethical considerations.
Dans ma terre, vos souvenirs, nos périls, bougeons encore.